yourself.
Is the fire department coming?
I did not hear that they're not. I did not talk to anyone today.
That's
Oh, there you go. Or maybe that's Brian. Hello. 6:28.
Yeah, I can't have it.
6:28.
Okay, the outside's on, I'm getting ready to turn this on.
Okay.
You all have all your folders open on your computers. So I'm gonna leave mine up there to put that picture up, and I can work it from up here. Okay, everything's on. Audio, ready to go whenever you guys are.
Brian, you want to look here real quick, see if I can get this to update.
I
Inbox.
couldn't get it straight.
Click on update.
So you got almost all your work done still?
So like general.
When is that ever down here? Because it has automatic updates on it.
I lost spring down
Well, I had to find my charging pad.
early spring,
Complicated at
Yeah.
that.
both mowers.
That's what he was saying, Bradley was down, and you name it.
You ready?
Yeah, all right.
All right. Time we got 7:30. We'll call it order, please. Stand and join me in a pledge of the flag and a short devotion. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, we ask that you be with us as we make decisions to benefit the residents of our township to the best of our ability. We ask that you be with the people in Florida that are affected by the building that collapsed. And we ask that you keep everybody safe through the July 4th holiday. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Any additions to the agenda?
I have two under new business. That'd be an update on the Route 30 expansion, and then Cliff was interested in an update on the Hope Senior Housing.
Under new?
Yeah.
All right, I got an update on the mine at the road report, and then I got, I guess it would be old business pricing on for the cement out here.
Okay, great. I have nothing.
You say under the road report,
Old bit, I don't know where you wanted that.
well, you can put it under the old business, but that's the one thing, or you got two things?
The cement for the front.
Okay, that's it, okay.
You want that under the road or under?
No,
old?
just put that under old.
Okay, old.
And I have nothing extra to add.
Do you have anything, Brian?
No.
All right. With that, we'll move to the trustee meeting minutes from 6/14/2021.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Trustee Varian, second.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next, we'll move to the treasurer's report for 6/28/2021.
I'll make a motion to accept the treasurer's report as presented.
Trustee Varian, second.
All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? With that, we'll move to public speaks.
That's a thing.
Who wants-
I'm going to speak probably. I turned in a.
Okay, if you don't mind, speak your name and your address for the record.
Okay, my name's Kathy Lynn. Address of 8873 John Haven Street. I sent a complaint in for a nuisance for hazardous. Ross Long, 2076 coverage. Mows the front, doesn't mow the back. I have pictures to prove it. And the car is still sitting there with license plates on it that were dated back in 2011, or 7/2012. You know, the car is more or less abandoned there. And the windows are all boarded shut now.
Where are we at on this car deal?
I
What's the state?
drove by today and saw what she was saying about that. I have not been able to check the files to see what they've done about in the past.
Did you get the complaint?
Yes.
We submitted that, went through, we adopted that fee. Regional planning said they didn't need it to go through there, so they sent it back to us since it's just a fee, and we already added that to our, and Brian, maybe you can, it was about a month ago, I thought we
Yeah,
had.
we added the junk car stuff
Yes.
fee to the actual yearly fee. It's $1,000 per vehicle that we could charge them up to $1,000.
For
Part of
costs.
getting it to move it off.
Actually
any
remove
costs
the vehicle.
involved with it.
So part of the problem is to remove a junk vehicle, the state now requires us to do title search. And that's the junk dealer that would be removing the vehicle. So their fees have grown tremendously because they have to pay for the title search. And sometimes resulting of the title search, they don't get the car,
Yeah,
depending on what the title search says. So we've been going through this litigation back and forth with the state, trying to figure out how we could do that. We just got that through recently, that we can charge more of a fee. Now we have to find a junk dealer who's willing to do that, take that risk and do that. So the code of what it has to meet has not changed. I don't have that all with me, but it has to have 4 tires, I think. It has to have a motor. There's 4 things.
For a junk vehicle, it has to be at least 3 years or older, in a rusted wreck condition, or missing movable parts. It can't be movable, basically.
oh, well, it's probably movable, but it's been sitting there so long that the paint is actually coming off.
Mhm.
You've seen the paint.
I've seen it, yeah.
Yeah, if you go into the file, you'll see that there's numerous complaints on this vehicle.
Okay.
Well, I just trying to, we are working, trying to find a way to get to deal with these.
And it's grass problem.
Yeah.
Last year, we didn't have it. He paid somebody to mow the yard last year. He had all kinds of money. This year, he come out with 2 brand new vehicles, and now he's mowing it again. And it's not getting mowed.
What has to be, according to our rules, over 8 inches before it's a
Well,
violation.
it's to my knees in the backyard, and I have pictures to show that. He does the front yard, but leaves the backyard.
Can you see
Down
the
the house,
backyard?
down the side. and
You
front.
can see it a little bit better.
You show him a picture of it.
We can still send him a letter though
Mhm.
and notify him that he
Show
needs
him
to
a
remove
picture of what the
the
backyard looks like. And this is, everything that's shown that's mowed there is what I mow up along our fencing line. That's only because we don't want to grow on grass over onto the electric fence and stuff.
And you can see this from your property.
Yeah, it's right in the back door. Our
Um,
new neighbors that just bought the house beside him, he's not in trust, he's a Marvin in this stand.
If you can send that picture to Mary, she can give you an email address and we'll have it for our file. And at this point, we can go ahead and we have to put him through our process that we're required. We'll have to send him a certified letter that goes to the property owner. That's the only people we can
Yeah,
send.
we really don't, we don't even know if Rosslon is actually alive, we don't know.
Well, someone in the auditor's office will be registered as the property owner, and that's who we'll send it
Because
to.
I think everything goes to his son.
Yeah, his son's the one that's been paying the taxes and stuff on this property.
Whoever they have is who it goes to. But if you send her that picture, and then Mary, there's a file in there, a large file. You'll
Okay.
get the parcel number and everything from that. So we'll go ahead and send that formal letter and start that process. In the meantime, we can look at the car more, but it has to be under the RISE code, what they consider to be a junk car.
This basically is turned to Mitty Avenue again over and over.
It's turned what?
To Mitty Avenue.
That way the house,
Yep.
that fell down over there on Nettie, and nothing.
Your dad knows about
I
that
know what you're
house.
talking about,
Uh-huh,
one in the back, one back
yeah,
in.
back in behind Demerling's back here.
I mean, the only reason why it has a roof.
So I don't know why you're worried about this house here, considering that house that's out here has been there for 9 years. Well, 9 years it's been burnt out.
This has junk and debris laying outside the house all over the place. And this one's been here for a long time too.
But, yeah, but that one's on main road. This one here you can't see, right?
That has nothing to do
That
with
makes a big difference.
it. That's not, it matters what, according to revised code, what we see from the road. That's why I asked Mary, what did she see? And we'll follow up on that car to see what condition it meets under the revised code. We can do that
Well,
now.
this house, what do we do with this house? It's been boarded up for all these years.
Under Ohio, having
Get into an email account.
boards on the windows is not a violation. I mean, we don't like it, but it's not a violation. So we don't write the revised code. We can go down and make suggestions for changes. Took 2 years of working with state representative to get this through for the junk vehicles. And the most we could do is get now raised to a fee that we can help to cover the cost. They still, in the state of Ohio, has not changed the regulations. So they're preventing townships from doing anything with junk vehicles is what they're doing. Cities and villages have different rules to follow than
Yeah, because if
townships.
this stuff would have been in the city, it would have been gone.
Right, they have different rules that they have to follow other than what the township follows.
So what you do, you go out and buy a piece of property out in the township and you just turn it into a shed hole, right?
That's a good complaint to make down at the state level because,
Yeah.
I mean, we try to change the rules and do as much as we can. I'm not disagreeing with you at all, but we can only operate within the law. So we're getting some more leeway and we'll try again.
Are we ever gonna get, I don't really feel, they haven't done anything with this house in 8 years.
I don't think they have either.
Well,
Well, they,
the church has done all the work on the roof it had on it.
Right,
they put
they
the
fixed
roof
the
on,
roof.
they put the back door on, they put the garage door on. Now, and somebody put electric in it, and they're using the electric for the sump pump to keep sucking the water out of the basement.
Yeah.
I talked to you about supposedly the water was tested and good.
I can't get anywhere on it.
That is hard to believe considering I have no idea where they're pulling the water from. You know,
I don't understand why this is just me, I don't understand why they wouldn't keep it. It's
Well,
It's costing them money.
Yeah, that's their choice, but it's costing them money, but the way things are selling right now, I'd sell it.
well,
I agree with you, it's bad. It's bad for your property, it's bad for all your neighbors.
the problem I have, and by the time you call a sheriff, they're already gone. The boy brings out, he pulls to the back of the house, gets out of his car, takes this box about like this, and like this, and like this, into the house, and comes back out with nothing. And 2 days later, he comes back out, gets it, and leaves. Now, unless they're doing, I mean, we can't smell no odors, but we think there's something shady going on up there, drugs being moved or transported or whatever. By the time we call a sheriff and they get out there, he's gone, so you can't do nothing.
Yeah, you can report that as drug paraphernalia coming in on the house. You absolutely can. I'd call and say it again and again. I think there's drugs in that house. Call them again and again.
And
You can. You as a citizen can call and say, I think there's shady business happening there. I don't know what they're
we
gonna
told
do.
the sheriff time after time, and
So when you call and they never come out,
they have came out. Now, the door was left open the one time.
Yeah.
And the sheriffs went in and they said, well, it looks like they're trying to clean up in there. So they've been cleaning that up for the last 7 years, and he just looked at me, he said, seriously, the township hasn't done anything? I said, no.
there's only so much we can do in the law.
I said, they said they can't, there's nothing they can do.
Right.
But I just keep hoping the first couple away and calls. But
Mary, when you send that letter on the grass,
Mhm.
you can also mention that there's a vehicle that hasn't been moved. I just mentioned to him that, we prefer to not have unmovable vehicles. I mean, we can urge them that way, but unless we find that it meets that junk vehicle classification.
I mean, that thing's probably an 89.
Well, it's the old, East Canton police cruiser is what it was.
Yeah, police cruiser is what it was.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
as long as it's still
I
running.
remember that.
Oh, well, you don't know if it runs.
That's been sitting there a long time.
They ain't moved there in probably 5 years.
Well, when I say running, I guess I should say under the higher rise code classification.
We'll definitely send letters out
We can
for the
send the
car
letters
and
and
make
try.
the grass and
Try to prompt some action. We could do that, but we can, look at her and then mention that.
Yeah, we got it set up.
And just for a point of clarity, if we were to turn in the junk, if it meets junk vehicle and we turn it in, it's $1,000 assessed on the property tax.
Maximum of $1,000, and it's based on the cost. We have to find a junk dealer who's willing to go pick the car up.
Right.
And go through that process.
Sure, but they get paid to move the car and then they have to go find the title, but they're getting paid because that's where $1,000 goes.
Right.
Okay. All right.
And then we'll assess it on property taxes.
Okay.
anything, any shady stuff you see happening, I'd recommend you call the sheriff
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah,
I would too.
every time.
I mean, I told him, I said, and it's always like, of course, we got a dog now that hears everything, and when she barks, we look to see who's in the driveway. And I always go to the side door, because where I park my car, when they pull up, you can't see them from the front door, or even from the front window. So I have to go to the side door, and that's when we see them coming in and out. I mean, it's sometimes, a lot of times it's late at night.
Yeah.
When this is going on. And during, he's out there, he's only in and out, he's just in and out.
Right.
Within 10 minutes, he's there and gone.
Right.
That's tough.
He's not changing the socks, what you're saying.
And he always pulls the car back behind the house.
Yeah, he always pulls his car behind the house where, right up to that door where nobody can really see.
Because you don't want to walk through the high grass back there.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he mows it.
It's gonna get
He
ticks.
mows it around.
Oh, yeah, he mows probably an area almost as wide as this, right there behind that door. That's
So he
it.
can come and go.
Yeah,
Okay.
All right.
he comes sliding around and, after it rained one day, we were waiting for him to hit the fence. So the deaf, he kind of scratched his nice new car on that fence, he hits that fence. I said, no, I'm not, he'll keep you paying somebody to put that fence back up there. So, that's a lot of work.
Just for the record, what address again are we talking about, so we can have it?
2076 Clover Ridge
Thank
Street.
you. 2076
Yep.
Clover Ridge. Thank you.
All you gotta do is look in your file in there for the biggest,
For the largest manila envelope.
oh, yeah.
Well, yeah.
So we appreciate you bringing it in, bringing attention to it. We'll do what we can do. Anything else?
That's about it.
All right.
Because we know Shear's not gonna mow down around us. That ain't happened in 5 years, it's not gonna do anything now. So we just mow.
Yeah.
We have, I already looked it up. State of Ohio says if they don't wanna maintain it, we have the right to maintain up to 6 foot. Jeff mows 5 foot of his around us. Keeps the snakes back, please.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing we can do.
Yeah.
And we do the same with Ross and them. This mower cuts 5 foot swath, he goes right up.
Is the car still sitting in front of the garage?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's black and white.
And he goes around the left side of the house or the right side of the house to get to the back?
As you're looking at the front of the house, it'd be your right side.
I think he goes.
Then he comes around,
Yeah, he kind of drives.
he makes a circle drive out of it.
They
Oh, he
come
goes
up
right through one.
and they go around the
Yeah.
front
It's all board.
to the back and
These
then
are all
come down
boards,
to one side.
So he goes down the right side and goes around, mows the front, not the back. The old police cruiser's still sitting there.
Well, he mows the sides, both sides, and 2 strips across the back where they don't have to walk in high grass when they get out of the park.
And you guys are to the, look, I'm standing on the street, you guys are to the left.
They're
Well,
directly
yeah.
behind.
We have a lot to the left and we're
There's a side, if you
I
go
got you.
down, you make a
I just
left.
have it up on Street View. If you go down here, yeah,
Keep going.
there's a street down here.
Yes.
Yeah.
You drive back here, this post back here is the end of the road.
Okay.
You should be able to see the back of the house.
Back of the house, yeah.
From the road.
Okay.
Yeah, you can pull in my driveway.
Yeah,
Punch in there, I drive, when you might go spin around and see the back of the
Yeah.
house.
This is an old, Street View because there are boards on the house on the Street View, but the car's in the driveway.
Can you bring that up on the big?
I don't think I can.
that's about how long that car's been sitting.
So
There.
it's a hill. The backyard's a hill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Zoom into the back of that.
Yeah, backyard. This, like I said, this is
It's
very,
an old
it's a
picture.
very old picture. It is mowed in this picture, but it's very old. There's no boards. It's
It's
before the fire.
It's at least 10 years old.
Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
it would have to be because the house.
So your driveway goes off the end of the road.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I see it.
The road that ends into our driveway.
Yep. I see it. Okay, so he goes he goes the right side of the house. He goes behind the house to a back door.
Yeah.
And that's where he accesses his
Whatever he's
Goods and-
wanting, and he
goods
drives
and
right
services.
around the left side of the house, right out through the front yard.
Yeah, and when he gets the mower out or anything to mow, he opens the garage long enough to get it out and closes the door. That's what he does. He opens it back up and put it back in. So that's telling me, yeah, something's going on, right?
All right, well, we gotta keep moving.
All right.
I don't mean to run, but, yeah, their property's very well taken care of. Every time I've ever been down there.
Okay.
That's because I mow my sweet bits so my goats love that. That's like,
Candy.
that's like candy.
That's
cane.
right.
Oh, yeah. Keep them.
All right, you guys, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
You guys take care.
See ya.
Thank you. We'll move to the fire report.
So I have a couple of things on here, but I don't have the amounts, because that was in the envelope that I brought Friday morning, and Chief Shear called me like an hour ago and said, I can't go to the meeting. So I don't have those numbers.
I have the numbers,
Okay.
Amy, regarding the radios, but
Yep.
I was a little confused when the agenda came in Friday. It says need 3 more radio batteries. And he had a quote that has 4 batteries on it. I didn't know if that
That
meant.
was from before.
So we need 7?
So no, so that was, I believe that was a quote from when we had bought 4 before.
This
the date on
quote
it.
is dated 6/22 when he texted me this information.
Oh,
Then emailed it and said, here's what we need is 4. And that was prior to
Yeah.
when you dropped yours off.
yeah,
And then when I got the agenda, it
And
said
it
we
said
need
3.
3 more. So I was a little confused if you needed 3 more on top of that 4, or if it's just the original 4. And that was from Stanley
well,
Technology.
it's not 3 more.
Okay, it's not
Yeah.
3 more. Okay, that's
Ask him
good
really
to know.
quickly, see if he responds. I don't know what he had going on tonight, so we'll come back, we'll circle back to that.
Let's circle back.
All right.
See that? So 241 is air valve, so we put that air chuck in to run the air brakes instead of fixing that cylinder. Well, it was giving us air back. And so we took it back over to RVs and they were like, oh, the check valve in it isn't working. And so they put a whole new piece in there. Well, it continues to blow air out. So Sean has taken it apart about 4 different times. I don't know if we just needed something different. It was suggested that there might be water in our air compressor system. So like Sean and I drained it out, like something is making that check valve
Stick open.
stick open, which basically means if it's connected to the airline, they're equalizing, so it's not getting air from the airline. And if the airline is off, like if we're pulling the truck out, air is going everywhere. Now, they did give me a cap for it the last time, because he's like, if this ever happens again, just put the cap on it. Well, so we've just had the cap on it here for now, like a week. So when it needs air, we pull it out, let it run, it builds its air back up, we back it back in, otherwise the low air alarm goes off. But we probably need to put that actual either fix or replace that pump, because the air shock conversion is not working.
So I'm confused though, because the tanker does the exact same thing. So
I know.
Why is the
Oh, I
tanker?
know. I
Why,
asked
if
the
there's
same
water in the
question.
line, why is the tanker working
I
in
don't
the
know.
iron?
You are correct.
It's the same system.
It is. I
Okay.
don't know. Because I asked that same question.
Can you build air on the, if you build air on the system and go to leave, can you pop it off and shove the cap on, or is it too much air? Will that not work?
So from what was explained to me by someone who has more mechanical knowledge than I do, because you're putting a certain amount of pressure in, like because the truck is blowing pressure out, even if you connect it to the air chuck, it's not taking air in from the air chuck. They're just blowing air at
If
each
it's
other.
if it's built pressure.
Correct.
Think
So
about,
I mean, in
I can
theory, yes.
imagine.
So if
think
it's
about
low-
balloon here and no balloon here, and you put it together, it
Sure.
will equalize, but the higher pressure side will blow into the lower pressure side until it equalizes.
Correct.
Yes.
So, I mean, yes, in theory, I guess if it's low, we can put it on until it gets to a point where it's not taking anymore, and then if we're leaving, put the cap on.
Where did the check valve come from?
No, it's in the system.
It's in part,
I know,
the air chuck itself.
where did the new one come from?
R&Bs.
RVs put it in, they replaced it. They said the initial one they put in, they're like, oh, it must be bad because it's not working correctly. And so he took it out and put a new one in. And so we're still having issues with it. It has not been back.
Does the
again.
other truck, is it the air hooked to it the same way? Have you
And
tried?
it has done that since I've worked there.
But have you tried switching the truck and trying to see if it works on the other truck?
Switching the airlines,
The truck, moving the truck over and using the other airline?
we have not.
Because that would give you another clue.
I don't.
But if the cap is off, it's blowing air out. I mean, it's in the truck.
Well, that would tell you that it was in the truck, because if the airline works on the other truck, then you know 100%.
No,
I mean,
it is
it's-
in the truck.
It's, in my mind, it's a simple air check valve. I would take it back and have them put another valve in it. I know that sounds crazy, but like, this is very simple technology.
This line has to physically be unhooked, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Why not have them change that and put a simple 90-turn valve behind the air chuck? So they come out, they turn the valve, pop the line, you're talking 10 seconds.
Right,
Not a screw, just a turn,
right.
a 90 valve.
I don't really know how the system's set up inside. What she was saying is if the check valve isn't working properly, it equalizes the pressure because it's just open.
This will eliminate that. You see,
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
where you plug, you have to unplug the line regardless, so you're already there.
Uh-huh.
So if you have just a 90,
So instead of putting the cap on it, you're
You would
just.
just-
you would
shut
turn
the
the
valve.
90, pop the line, and
Right.
you're good, go. You're
Right.
full air.
You would have to turn the lever though, if you did.
They have to unhook the line.
Yeah, all the while though.
Right.
And you would be able to
No,
turn
I
the
understand.
lever even if it was blowing air out, because that's a lot easier to put in a cap.
No, they're not auto reject.
But the pressure isn't so much if they tried to unhook it.
So do you know
Still
this,
having the pressure on it without
do you have this
No,
knowledge,
that
like,
shouldn't matter.
if it's sitting there and there's air in it,
Mhm.
and you unhook the line and fire the truck up, even if it's blowing everywhere, is there enough pressure in the line to release the brakes at that point?
Mhm.
Because then we're talking about equalizing side. If that's the case, then his check valve works. Shut it off and go. But truly, it's a simple technology. It's not, a check valve is very, very simple. There's a spring and a rubber gasket.
Right.
It builds the pressure, and once it
Right.
goes past,
Well,
it shuts off.
and 2 Fridays ago, Sean took it apart, like, cause he's like, well, it's like wedged in there. So he like,
Okay.
it's just a little ball in there. So
Right,
he's taking it apart, like, he took it, when he first got there Friday afternoon, I said something to him about it. He took it apart and put it back together. He's like, it's fixed. And I was like, fantastic. So I
Right,
unhooked it, pulled the truck out, and I was like, incorrect.
correct. It's not fixed.
It's doing it again.
Yeah.
So,
but you can get a brass,
Yeah.
yeah,
The only thing is it's going to be a little, right now the air truck hangs on the side of the truck. It's just going to be a little further out with the check valve.
well, that's okay.
But that's okay. It's
Yeah.
It's not going to be out past the side mirror.
no, it's small, it'd be about an inch long.
I don't know. I'd probably call the garage again and just say, hey, this is what we're dealing with. I mean,
New parts that are fault.
yeah, there's new parts that are
Yeah.
fine for sure.
That happens.
Well, and I wonder too, like I said, 54 has always worked this way. And
Yeah.
we've never had an issue. So I wonder if there's a more Cadillac model of what we have. Like if it's,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
If 54 has a
Like,
special.
I didn't
spec-
ask, like, are there different,
Yeah.
like maybe we
But
put
I
a
think-
higher
But if you-
quality
I
of
think you
one
should
in
put the
there. I don't
valve
know.
on
regardless. Even if you get the check valve working, you're talking a $15 part.
Right.
If it ever fails, you turn it and you don't have to worry about getting stranded on Route 30 with air brakes.
Yeah. The whole concept is it gives air to the truck prior to the engine starting. As soon as it gets pressure from the engine, it's a null and void point.
Right.
Right.
All it does is
It's
just
staying there with
leave
the
air in the system.
residual.
Right.
Well, not if it's blowing out.
If it's blowing,
Yeah.
if it's blowing
Yeah,
out,
if it's blowing out,
the compressor's trying to keep up with
You're
it.
gonna burn a compressor up eventually.
Yeah.
All right.
Then it's gonna be really
Okay.
expensive.
Okay.
So yeah, back to RVs.
Do you understand what I'm talking about, the shut off?
And maybe we can just, when we take it over there and let them play with it, we can say, hey, we talked about putting just a ball valve on this. Can we do that? You know, so, all right, cool.
Right, I can ask them. He did text me back. It is 4 radio batteries.
For total. Okay.
Yes, 4 total. Yeah.
That total, that dollar amount, trustees, that is on your
Yep.
tablets for 438 with the Stanley Company.
We good with that?
Yes.
Trustee, oh, sorry, no, please.
You're up.
Trustee Varian moves to approve 4 radio batteries at the tune of $438.
38. Trustee Puro, second. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed?
And then another price that either was on there or that Fiscal Officer Lowry has is that we need a new cylinder to calibrate our core gas monitor. So it's good for several years and the one we have is
That
expired.
is $260 with the fire safety services.
268.
60
even.
from fire safety services.
Brian, have a look over there.
You're good.
Okay, Trustee Varian moves to approve $260 for a new cylinder needed for the gas monitoring calibration.
Trustee Griffith seconds.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
And then the last thing is, Dale Nelson was asking about taking a class at Mercy. It is the tactical EMS class. That is that TECC is tactical EMS critical care maybe, at a cost of $300. That class is, I believe it is either 2 or 3 days in September.
How are we on that?
So, since I'm new to this, how does this typically work when someone requests a class like this? Like, what is I haven't really made it all the way through my handbook yet. I'm working on it.
Well, the training part of it, anything to do with training,
Okay,
normally the trustees, if someone's wanting to get, say, either paramedic, special training, the fire department does exactly what they're doing. They request it. We have a budget amount that I always make available. That dollar amount's around $10,000.
okay,
And then some of it, when Amy turns in for grant, we get reimbursement, but sometimes that's from the previous year, then we get that money this year. Not necessarily I'm making that money appropriated because you never know exactly what you're going to get, but I do appropriate 10,000. Right now we have 7,300 that is sitting there that can be used for training right now.
okay. And we don't really monitor like, I mean, obviously you guys have an idea of when you get trained and when you need to be recertified, things like that. But we as the township don't like limit the amount of training a single firefighter gets, or do we?
We generally don't.
Okay.
We certainly have some people who are more interested in going to outside classes and some people who are more interested in just keeping up what they need to get their card back.
Okay.
So.
Cool.
I mean, if we have people that are willing
Oh yeah, absolutely.
to go, most of the time we're in favor of it. And they usually will bring stuff back, so.
Yeah.
they'll do
Is
the
this,
training.
Amy, all I would ask, is this something Dale's going to pay and need reimbursed, or is this something?
I think
that
Mercy should be able to just invoice us if that's,
Okay,
the best
just so
way to
I
do it.
know,
Yeah.
one vendor, you're
yeah.
dealing with one vendor?
It's through Mercy Hospital, so I can check on it. I have a meeting with the guy who's in charge of the class on Wednesday, and I can ask. I think.
Yeah, it's just, all I would care as fiscal officer, I didn't want to see like books coming from one place and
There's
someone
no-
else,
yeah,
if I
there's
do
no
a purchase
books for
order
it.
for the $300.
The 300 is the total amount, and I would guess Mercy can invoice us.
Trustee Varian moves to approve $300 for Dale to take a TECC class at Mercy Hospital.
Trustee Griffith seconds.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed?
33 calls, 30 ALS, 3 fire calls. 1 assist to Canton Township, and 4 assists from Louisville.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 5 refusals. Is that typical?
Yes, we tell people we're not in the mood.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
You look all right. We're gonna go. We got stuff to do.
Please no, I'm kidding. It just depends.
Yeah.
It just
Okay.
depends on. Yep.
Okay.
Can't make anybody go.
No, I understand.
We try sometimes. Like, you really probably should
You
go.
really probably should go to that. I'm not trying to twist your arm.
Yeah, I mean, if they're an adult and they're alert and oriented, they
Yep.
don't have to.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you. Cemetery report.
I know Sexton Shearer told me yesterday, he would be here, so I'm kind of surprised he's not, but he was working on footers. He had like 5 footers he put in over the weekend, and he had some repair work that he did do on some footers of some of our other older stones over at Mapleton Cemetery. I don't know if he had anything else to report or not, or Stu, if you know anything else.
I seen him
going
this
on.
afternoon, he was planning on comments, I don't know, something must
Yeah.
have come up, but he said he didn't have a whole lot. I did talk to Andy Parker about
Wildwood.
Wildwood. He
Okay.
was out of town and he was gonna try and call me this morning to meet out there to get a price, and he must something came up, so he hasn't got back to me yet, so I'll have that next time, hopefully. We just couldn't get together.
He just did a project out at the farm for my Uncle Dean. He did a nice job.
I just have.
He's a good operator.
We just haven't got together on time to meet.
Hopefully you can come with a good number and we can get him.
He's done a job for, people up on Viking that had a water problem coming down through the backyard, and we gave him Andy's man, and he took care of it, went up and fixed it all up for him there the other day, he said. So, yeah.
All right. Road report.
Good evening, everybody. For the trustees that looked over the road report, is there any questions you'd like to ask?
Did you do anything yet with that drop down there on Westfall, down the old 43? Remember where the road's eaten away underneath?
Oh, where you wanted to maybe possibly clean that out and just open the ditch down through, you mean?
Yeah,
No, I never took that out. I mean,
okay. I mean, right now it keeps getting worse every time it rains. Not that we're gonna rain anytime soon, hopefully, but.
we will go out and look at that tomorrow. Okay?
We
I
had,
just don't wanna lose any of the road.
we had a property on our road, on my road, where they attempted to put in a culvert and it was badly incorrect.
Oh, gosh.
So I went up and they were very good about it. I told them, I had Stu come out and we explained to them why, and they pulled it back out, and then they.
Try to go onto the road with it?
No,
Oh.
just on along, but it was
They dug
higher.
the ditch out and
On their property.
put a section of pipe
They
in
didn't
like.
damage the road, they just
No.
didn't have it incorrect.
They were in the ditch, but
And I
covered in the
explained
front
to them,
yard.
pipe it in correct.
They called us before. And
Yeah, I got
we
you.
would inspect, and Stu and Brian came up and they did an excellent job, and it tremendously improved the situation. They got it back in now and it's good, but so just to let you know. They were very understanding once we explained it to them, and it definitely will help them with what happened.
Oh, Stu, I was gonna text you. I dropped a sign off by the dumpster out here.
Oh, we wonder where that came from.
Yeah, I was gonna text you. It was under the porch of one of my rentals. I have no idea where it came from.
That's from like off, right out here on.
It was on Lincoln Way.
State Route 30.
Yeah, it was on Lincoln Way out there.
I'll give the state a call.
So I leaned it up against the pole out there, kind of for someone to see it, to pick it up, and it
Yep.
sat out there for 3 weeks. I'm like, all right, I'm giving it to Stu. I don't know
I'll
what to do with it.
call the state.
All right, thanks.
Did you get anywhere with the Stark County engineer about putting a sign up there on Orchard View before Wood?
No.
I almost got T-boned there by this truck, who actually, when he come over the hill, was going so fast. I was turning off the Wood onto Orchard View.
Yeah.
He actually, you could see him lifting up into the air as he went over the top of the hill. Then that same day, I had to go back to East Canton, but I go slow through there. As I come over the hill, here's the school bus turning out. Now, if I'd have been in that truck, you'd have been right in through the windows of that truck.
We've had close calls over the years when
Yeah.
we're pulling out there with the truck and trailers and stuff.
So we need
I
to be
mean,
more forceful with the county. They need to do something.
Bad intersection.
At least if they put signage up and something does happen, we can take more action against it.
On both of those houses, right over the crest, the Couts and the Gervons, they both have kids
They get on the
that go on the
bus.
bus. Both those houses do.
the last time I talked to the county, they suggested that the people in the house right there should walk their kids down towards that oil well and put them on down the road farther back away from the
You
hill.
need to tell, we're not asking about the kids. We're saying there used to be
I
a
know.
sign here that
Yeah.
says hidden intersection,
Right.
and now it's gone.
Maybe it got taken out of there whenever they built that house or something. And they
Yeah, I
didn't
don't
have
know.
it in their front
I always
yard.
say to myself, where are people going down that street? They go so fast. Where are you headed?
I
There's
really-
nothing out there. Where you going?
Honestly, I'll call again about that,
Mhm.
but even if you put a sign there, the people
Yeah.
will still fly
They
down
will,
that road.
but
They will not slow down.
hopefully nothing ever happens. But if it does,
I know.
now there's more legal recourse to make people think
It's a
twice.
shame the hump couldn't be taken out of there a long time ago.
Yeah, it'd be nice,
Lower
it'd be
it
nice to take that
2-3
out.
feet, you
Save
could see.
all kinds of accidents.
That was part of that capital fund that the Canton, the city of Canton had a $1 million project to do that hill and those other intersects that they said they weren't gonna do because of the finance, they didn't have enough. Just a little reminder that.
I remember there was some.
Once they said they
That
weren't
was
gonna do it, that's
It was off
when
their
we
list.
took that money and was able to free it up to put it back into our road project.
Gotcha.
Because they needed to do it when we had money there to tie in to help with that. And they pretty well said, we're not doing it.
And I don't think the school buses have much option,
No, they don't.
especially if they close Burger.
Lydia's bus comes that way and goes left.
Yep.
It is very
Yeah,
bad
it's
to
bad
come
there.
down and have to turn left onto Wood Street.
I always say it's safer at night because you can see the headlights coming.
Mm.
Safer at night.
And we have semis doing that. Just think about the trucks that come over, cars, and not just trucks, pickups, but the semis are turning left onto Wood Street there now.
They are. It's a tough turn too.
Yeah.
You gotta use all the road to make that turn. You gotta use the whole road.
What do you got on your village code regarding mowing ditches and the village code regarding?
Oh, Ed Collins called this morning, wanting to know if we could possibly mow the ditches up there in the village. The ones we normally do. We didn't do it last year with breakdowns and COVID and everything happening.
Which ones do we do?
We do the big ditch right there by the village garage. We do the ones down on the park. We do the real steep, deep one there by Russ and Deb Thorne's.
Yep.
Just down from Ray Butler's. They're on that side road. We do out by Todd Barrick's house there where it comes from the end of that ditch where the
Did you see they staked something off in that lot? Did you see that? They
Yeah,
put
my
a culvert
niece-
in and driveway and staked off the
yeah,
house.
my niece and
Oh, cool.
her husband's
Building a
gonna
house?
build a new house.
Oh, cool, great. That's a steep ditch right there.
Do they ask anything about doing around the track or something, anything like that? Do they say anything about that, or is this all just strictly those ditches and stuff?
Just those ditches.
Because I know one year they asked about doing the track or something around the school, those,
Oh,
that went over.
I have not had any calls from the school about, I mean, Larry Bone usually calls me
It
about
would
that.
probably be more in August before.
The
they would
cross
call
country.
For cross country.
I can't even imagine what it looks like now because we were not up there last year. And if you're not doing it every year, it was so tight going in there. That's the thing I was stressing to Larry. I mean, that machine, you can only suck the boom up so tight to you and have the thing sideways and try to go through there without
Getting everything
tearing
off.
the mirrors and the
Yeah.
doors and stuff off the tractor and injuring the tractor, damaging something, trying to go between all these trees to keep things opened up.
How does the business typically work if the village asks us to come mow? How does that typically work? Are they invoiced?
No, we
No.
don't charge them.
What happened in the past and before any one of you trustees here when I first started,
Mhm.
we used to go up there and do that, and they would help by paying for half of that Osnaburg Street, helping.
Gotcha.
They said they weren't gonna do that anymore, so just so you know, because they felt that was all us now. So even though we're talking about closing that down temporary and all, we still have cost to patch it and keep at least going until that time goes. But those kind of things were helped us. They worked with us a little bit, but like doing this, you know, they bought new vehicles, built a salt shed, and I would think they would invest in something, possibly, in the future, be thinking about that.
I think there's outfits they can hire to come in.
Well, we go up there as a fiscal officer and as a resident. It's a nice gesture by us going up and helping them out, but the return on investment, we go up there and tear our equipment up.
Right.
Now we got the cost. Are they gonna pay for it, or are they gonna possibly say, well, you know, it isn't our fault, it could have happened anywhere? That's the thing, and then it shuts us down on doing the road. The boom mower is very important to these.
So it was kind of a gentleman's agreement in the barter world before.
It-
How long
Okay.
does it
But we
take?
wasn't doing it at all, and we decided we need to try to work together. and
Oh, yeah.
collaborate.
If both
Agreed.
So we started
tractors,
doing it.
if both tractors go up there, it still took us, the flail mower can only do so much, you know, the first pass where the boom mower can really reach out. But even with both tractors up there, it would take us 3.5 to 4 hours, almost a half a day
Okay.
going around.
To get all the spots
Trying to
they've
get
asked.
all them spots.
Okay.
I'm not sure about all of those spots, because some of them are more personal, but the park and over the school, all our township residents use those places too. So if we're doing the park, I don't see an issue in doing the park at all, because we all use the park too. And I don't know what we have planned. Maybe if we do what they're asking, then they provide us 4 hours of labor back on something else that we need. I don't know.
They really don't have equipment, unless Stu corrects me on it, that can help us on our township unless they just gave us labor.
Mhm.
You know, labor, some manpower.
Well, I think for this year, we ought to do it, and I think to work towards next year, if there's no trade back, the tractors go with full diesel fuel tanks, and then we make an agreement, they can fill them and we're done. At least cover some of the cost.
Well,
I mean, we can go whatever we want, but I think we need to look
Yeah.
at the situation going forward.
You know, what's their option? They either have to hire it done by outside contractors, or they have to buy equipment.
Or they have to rent a boom mower.
We're too late in the game to really sit down and negotiate right now.
It's not a negotiation thing I'm just suggesting that before you all go say, give him the green light to go up there and do that, what are we gonna have some help here, some working, whether it's in the future or something, what happens, he goes up and breaks down and we got, you know,
Who typically-
$1,000 worth of
Right,
repairs.
right.
Because your budget's getting tight now this time of the year on all these
Who
repairs.
typically negotiates that? Would that be Stu and Ed?
It should be you. I'd like to see somebody from the village walk in here and talk to you trustees and you talk to them.
Yeah.
Maybe that would help
Yeah.
with some of this, helping us back with something.
Right.
Because I know Kathy Almacy, that's back when, right prior to the Hope Committee and all those things where we were doing these joint meetings, that's when a lot of that talking was on. Because
That's when
wanted
we
to help.
started again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It actually did before that, because when Chris Klein and them guys were here, when I was here, they did it then.
Yeah, but the trustees wasn't involved.
The trustee did give the green light to go up there, because I remember that happening, but at that time, it was like, they were also helping us on that Osnaburg Street at that time. Like if we had a $1,500 or $2,000, they would split that cost to put patch jobs and help us out with that.
I'm all about working with the village. I really am. But at the end of the day, everything costs money. And they know that, and so do we. So,
Well, we definitely should, even this year, if we go do that, they should replenish the fuel that we used. I don't think we should be paying our fuel to run in there and do that just for nothing.
I don't think it's gonna hurt to wait another 2 weeks at this point. It's not raining much anyway. Why don't we just try and get some representation from the village council to come down to our next meeting?
Yeah, this far along, unless they were,
I mean,
unless they were wanting, I think what he was probably calling for is to see if it could be mowed and probably done before Fourth of July. this
Before
coming
their
weekend.
next week.
we can't make decisions for what they're gonna do.
No,
But I told him, I'm busy right now trying to make sure we get the rest of the mowing and different things
Well,
done
maybe the
before
first
our
question-
road project.
First question for Stu is, do you have time, even if we said yes, do you have time to do it?
This week?
No.
We've been busy trying to catch up and get around and get back with the boom mower on all of our roads. We've been getting calls because we had a lot of breakdowns here this spring with both mowers. Everyone knows that. And we're trying to
I
get,
just paid the bill on the boom mower. They just got that back up and running just a week ago, and they're behind just a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
I would give him some time to keep us in check and then go up there.
because I just called Strasser too, Friday. Well, it was that earlier last week. He called me back Friday because I wanted to find out when they were gonna possibly be coming in to start doing the work for the micro sale. Because I want our guys to get around to all those allotments and mow with the boom
I didn't
mower
think
and
we
get
were-
everything mowed before they come in to do that. So they're not on that road, those roads anymore for the rest of the summer.
Well,
So they're
all right,
most likely gonna be there around the middle of August, he said.
how about you talk to Ed Collins and tell him that we are behind and we're working to get caught up and we are willing to work with them if maybe they can get some representation to our next meeting to kind of get an idea
Figure out a plan.
how we can get a plan together to work back and forth to get this done. But it's not gonna happen in the next year.
We used to meet like once a quarter. We haven't been doing that, but with COVID, we stopped the meeting.
Right. But that's the best we're gonna do right now.
Alright.
You guys happy with that?
I think so, yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Alrighty.
Update on the Stuckey out there, they have been working on it, they put the 411 down, it's a very good product. And they got a roller coming in here, I think tomorrow, Wednesday at the latest, he thought. And they're gonna roll it in, they got it, they were very diligent with the tape measure, it's got the width, they did a nice job, they graded.
Good.
Looking plenty wide now.
Good. And all this is from this last negotiation, correct?
Yeah,
There's not a bill at the end of this. This is from the last round.
Not that I know.
we're gonna have a small bill, but I had to make a decision. There's a section in there that we filled that's not in where we put the brick scrap last year, and they had to put stone. We either had to put stone on it or not put stone on it. I said, put it on. It's gonna be somewhere between $750 and $1,000. I don't know where it's at yet. I haven't got the total. He thought 2 loads might cover it, but we paid for the stone last year where we filled it. They're not
Didn't
charging.
we get that on an outside, another contractor or somebody brought in, you knew? There was
Yes,
some other guys that brought
yes,
that in.
but they are not charging us anything to put it down. But they
So the
coming down through and he said, what do you want to do?
So the 750 to 1,000 is product only.
That's to put the 411 to keep the road the same all the way down through.
Okay.
What am I was standing there, what are you gonna do? It needed it, so. But I think we're gonna have a pretty good road when this is all done.
Is this going to CCU or who's getting paid?
They're gonna
Is it
bill
truck
us.
dri- Is it a truck driver crew?
No, it's
or is it-
CCU, as far as I was told, it's that company. But there'll be a bill, so we don't have to do anything tonight on it. It's,
So once that product's paid for to fill that area, how close are they? Are they pretty close to being done?
they'll be out of it this week.
Okay, and then that negotiation's handled, settled,
It'll
done.
be ready for
Okay.
contract.
Great.
Our bids will be open for the July 12th meeting, just to give you an update.
Okay.
So we'll start receiving them. I haven't received any. Usually they come at the last couple minutes, but those bids, it's been advertised once and it'll be advertised here at the end of this week, and it is on the website.
That was for the micro seal also, correct?
No, microseals are already done.
It's gonna happen.
Strasser's already done on microseal. That was 146,000. You already approved that through state bid.
Oh, okay,
This-
through
this-
state bid.
Yeah, this job here would be whatever it comes in. I had my estimates based on what Stu and I and some quotes from other companies. I want to see how close I am when it comes in, but I wanted to see where it was once we get it, because this would be involving Old Sindel, Sand Crable from the entrance of the mine out to 30, Mott's, a little section that had to be a culvert put in, and then Stuckey from, I'm going to say, the Bosler residence all the way out to Parks. That's what's all on that bid, those 4 areas.
What are you paying for the 304 you're putting in with culverts? A ton.
I haven't gotten any since Shelley took over the company and everything, so I don't know what the price is on it, and everything's went up. It was around $13 or $14 a ton is what our price was, being that we had
This
an account with them.
This 411 is 15 a ton. Now, whether they'll deliver that outside of the deal, that stuff is really good stuff. I'm just saying for the future.
Oh, no, when you're going with limestone, 411, you mean buying that instead of doing the 304 crushed concrete, you mean?
I think it's as good or better.
Well, I'm saying it ain't better, but you're
Limestone is
just gonna be hot.
It's like $26.
No, it's as high as $32 a ton, some of it.
I bought 2 loads of this,
I know that from them.
$15 a ton.
From them?
Yes. So I'm
That's a good
saying,
price.
if you're getting some, it's something to look into. I don't know if that price will remain that low.
If you don't have an account, and I don't, I need to, if you drive out of National Limestone and you want 57 limestone, it's $36.
Oh, yeah, I agree with
I
that.
paid that last week. I need to get an account.
And Stu, did you redo the account with Shelley Company? Because everyone had to redo their accounts.
I already took care of that.
Okay.
That
What-
company's buying
what,
everybody up.
What's the deal with the sign? When are we putting the sign on? Like,
When I get time. I haven't got the lumber yet. I need to get lumber for that. I need to get lumber for that sign that got stolen there. I did get the new sign, road closed sign, but we gotta get the lumber and build them.
all right.
What's the paving company?
Anything else?
Not that I know of.
Dirt patching looks good where I've seen it, where you guys have been out.
Yeah, we're hoping that was 6 loads so far, so we're hoping 1 more load will take care of everything throughout the township that I need to go run around finishing up little spots here and there.
Have you-
Those spots, by the way, that were torn up really bad from the oil well company going in there over on Stuckey.
They really turned out good.
I thought that turned out real good. I went in there and like double layered it.
Okay.
You can only put so much in at a time, and then
Your 2 spots where the excavators spun out the road, how are they looking? Did you check on those?
no,
They fell back in
they're
place.
all right.
All right.
The spot down there where the car burned up the other day on Hill Church, we might go down there with this last load and just barely
Just
skim
skim
that.
over it. Yeah.
You know, to get rid of all the stickiness and everything.
Sure.
It's really melted everything and
All right.
heated that road up so bad, I think it brought the tar to the top of it.
Oh. All right. Thank you. Move on to zoning.
Since our last meeting, I got 2 permits, one for a deck and one for an addition on a house. I gave Brian the money for the addition today.
Yeah, the $175 is not on that treasurer's report. It will be deposited, but just received today.
Since the last meeting, I got
Grass.
6 new nuisances, mostly grass. Mapleton and 44, I sent a letter, I drove by today, nothing's been done yet.
Was there an individual or was it a bank?
It was That one is SWAT roofing.
Okay, company.
Yeah.
Did you give them a deadline?
So I'm gonna send them another letter, because that deadline will have been the 25th,
Did you send the first one certified or regular?
regular.
So now you're gonna send registered. Okay.
Valkyrie and 44, that one I sent certified because it was issues with delivering it in the past. When I got that little card back, next to the owner's name, it says deceased. So I haven't heard anything else from that, but.
So that lot is now for sale.
Mhm.
It's for sale.
Well, the
somewhere.
problem is it's not,
It's not buildable.
right, so it'd have to go like the side lot program.
Right.
And we talked to the one neighbor, tried to get him to buy it, but then he decided he didn't want it because they're gonna pay taxes on it.
Yeah, it says for sale, half acre.
But
So
I
who
don't
listed it if
think,
the guy's deceased? Must be a family member.
I think it was his daughter or something signed for it.
Gotcha.
the state did mow it back really far, so it is not
They did.
a safety issue.
It was probably 4 feet or better back
Yeah,
past
more than
the
that
Yeah.
even.
mailboxes and stuff. That looked good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I drove by Georgetown and saw all the stuff out on the house, and then I drove by that lot, and I'm like, it's for sale. All these like long-term nuisances are like all happening at the same time.
Then over at Clover Ridge and Brown Mare, which is where, close to where the public talked about earlier, I sent a letter, haven't heard anything back about that. And went by the day, nothing's been done yet.
Is that the parcel they were talking, the Lynn family, or is that
That's
someone
a
else?
separate parcel.
Okay,
Is this that parcel that's like an empty lot that?
okay.
Has
It's
a
on
bunch
site,
of
it's on
trees
that.
I
and
got a
stuff in
phone
it.
call from an older, or one of the other residents.
Yeah,
That's.
It was an older lady,
I got
yes.
one.
He
That's
he
one
took that call.
I forwarded that on to
Yeah.
Mary here.
And I did call Jimmy Beck and he said, let her know that I was hooking the brush hog up to the tractor, but he's evidently not been there and mowed yet. He said he was going to me personally on the phone.
So if he's under agreement with her to mow that and she's just waiting on him.
Yes.
We don't need to send any more letters.
I called her back too and she did not answer, so I left a message letting her know that he said he would be coming out.
Okay.
I've seen on like the past ones for that one that she does talk to him about getting him up.
Yeah.
One on Georgetown, 6936. I drove by Dave. They had that mowed, so that one's taken care of. The other one on Georgetown, which you see in that picture, I just got that kind of taken care of and looked at today. So I gotta send out a letter to that.
There is that U-Haul sitting there that they must be loading. But still, there's tons of plastic bags laying there on the far right, a whole way along that driveway, and they must just be trash bags.
Yeah.
I
I'm
think that
guessing.
U-Haul's been there though for.
I think so.
Yeah, I don't think
Well,
that's
I had a
nothing.
person call me
That thing
today
hasn't moved.
to
Yeah.
complain that a week ago they was by there. A week ago last Monday, the U-Haul wasn't there then.
I seen it there.
Yeah, I think,
Somebody has been, I drive that way pretty often. Somebody has been rooting through the bags. Like somebody's there going through the stuff.
Well, the one call I
Rats.
had, the comment was they're afraid they're just picking out what they want and they're gonna leave the rest.
Well, I would
I'd be sure of it.
be 100% sure that's gonna happen. They're not gonna clean that up. I just wanted to see the crew that took it all out and put it in the yard. Took hours.
Why didn't they just get a dumpster in the first place?
No money.
We haven't figured that out yet. Bank for, if
It went
they,
into bankruptcy.
Yeah, but
I don't
The
understand.
bank,
people that
something-
lived there didn't own it.
no, they were
They were
renting.
just renting.
I looked it up
Yeah,
on the
but
website.
what
The
doesn't
company
make
says
sense
it's owned by a
is
company in
if they're
California.
set out, then
That's
the
'cause of the
bank should have
bankruptcy.
authority to come in and get rid of it.
Well, if we send it, we'll have to follow the process, the regular letter and then the registered. After that, we can hire a company to come in and we'll pose it on the taxes.
And just,
I think I'd send a letter to the bank that owns it. I'll bet
Well, that's
they're,
where she said
I'll bet
that.
they don't have any idea. Somebody doesn't know what's going on here.
Actually, you
If you
can,
hired a realtor knowing that that looked like that,
You can call the realtor and say who owns it, and they can have to tell you, they have to tell you if it's a bank or if it's
Yeah,
not.
there's like a.
there's a name there. There's a name on the sign, the bank or something.
Mhm.
Because the one that called me knew who the bank.
For just $100,000, you can own it.
what'd you say?
Yeah, for
Solicited
sale for
$100,000.
$100,000.
Yeah, it's a sell for 100,000. And the pictures, I mean, the ceiling's falling in every room, like it's in bad shape.
Um,
I bet it brings it.
Yeah.
For what this stuff's selling.
if we had to pay a company to clean that up, we're gonna have well over $1,000 in it.
1,000?
Oh.
Yeah, 10,000.
I'm saying it'd be well
No.
over that.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
had
we
that, we had that used shred it company, they have a division of it that we had them clean up something where they went in and picked up all kinds of stuff, scrap,
Yeah, and
everything.
I thought it had some
And
hazardous
it was a
waste.
couple
in it.
$1,000 just for that. This looks like.
It'd be
a lot more.
$1,000 for one big roll off going in.
Oh, this will be.
This looks like a lot if it's.
There's a lot of loads.
There's vehicles and it's all kinds of stuff back.
I think some of the, yeah. Some
There's a
of the,
motor home.
So make sure you're tracking everything you mail and your total cost for this. Because if we have to do something, we're gonna end up putting all that on.
Let's hope the bank doesn't.
I'm trying to find it online here, but I I don't know. I need to look, see who owns it.
Oh, yeah. See if I can find.
If you get a better picture of that, you could also send them a picture.
Okay.
Just pull in their driveway. No. Be safe.
Well,
You're gonna pull in and be like, is this a garage sale? Oh, I'm
They
so
do not-
sorry.
They do not own the driveway.
No, the driveway goes to that
Eric
back.
Pugh.
Eric Pugh owns the driveway and everything behind him.
And that's why he called me, is because he said they are, they're pushing them, they're moving into the driveway farther and farther, and they're having issues getting through. Let me see. Let's see here.
But it's empty because everything's in the front yard.
Hey, Mary, maybe we ought to get a drone and he could fly over it, get an aerial shot of it.
Yeah.
You might not want to see it.
Right through the hole.
Make sure your letter to them is really strong.
Okay.
Strong with deadlines.
All right. Anything else?
The last one on that list is the one that the public came in and talked about.
The only thing I would say about the car, I know it's an older car, but you need to go back and look specifically in the revised code. I think that it probably does not meet their definition of a junk vehicle. Just because it hasn't moved, that is not one of the criteria. And you don't have to prove the motor can run, you only have to prove it has a motor. Now, if you take the motor out, then that's a different issue.
They did move a couple of cars up there by a miner's old thing. On
Yeah,
West
but
Fall,
they're still parking them too close to the edge of the road.
but then some of it's not as close to the road as what it was, which makes it a little nicer for us.
So send the letter on that one too, but you have to look up to see who the owner is. It might have changed.
All right. That it?
At our zoning commission, we sent 2 amendments to regional planning that they're going to hopefully have on their meeting this upcoming July.
Mhm.
And we'll hopefully have our hearing after that.
Are you gonna go to that meeting?
Mhm.
Because we did have a disagreement with them and we did not resolve it. And that was that they were insisting that we do short-term rentals, which is Airbnb, in our residential areas.
Mhm.
And we did not want that. The commission wanted to put in our business-owned area only, the Airbnb.
Okay.
And they were only, their thought process is put it in residential. And I don't think they realize our business-owned area is all residential, but it has a few businesses in it. The
So do you-
commission really felt that,
Do you think they'll deny it because of that? Or do you think they'll accept it?
I think they're not gonna like that we didn't use their standard plan.
Got it.
And then
Okay.
we had a second issue with them. Go ahead with that one, Mary.
We sent in some language about public land use in Osnaburg, and they didn't. They wanted us to double check with the prosecutors beforehand.
They,
I know why.
They gave their personal comments on it. And then also sent it directly to the prosecutor themselves, which they should not have done. We did go to the private attorney that we had for consultation because it's a conflict of interest for regional and the prosecutor because they represent the county park system, which would be public use.
So it sounds like this is a meeting you guys should go to.
Yes, that's why I'm.
Okay, I mean, I can go unless you don't want me to go. I mean,
I want you to go.
obviously you guys can speak on behalf of this.
Well, we don't get a right to do that. We get the right, Mary submits it, the commission puts it together, approves it, and then she submitted it, and it'll be on this agenda.
Okay.
But,
Can
and then
you-
remember, regional
as
planning
a-
is only a recommendation back to us. We
Right.
do not have to follow that recommendation.
As, in the regional planning meeting, can you not speak on, if you're a trustee, can you not speak on behalf of your, because there were all kinds of public speaks this last meeting, pile of them. kinds of comments
And
on
I
an
need
issue
to
we had.
give
I don't know if
somebody
you're
a
allowed.
call.
I mean, the public definitely spoke, but I don't think we had any, any zoning inspectors or any trustees speaking on behalf.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that would be, if they bring it up on the screen and they get ready to vote on it, it'd be good to say, hey, listen, the reason we asked for this is because we're a little different than a lot of your townships,
Right,
and how we're formed. Show them a map and say, hey, we don't have a lot of industrial and a lot of business. We don't have a lot of those areas in our township, but.
yeah, well, and we did in the email to them, let them know the business 1, 2, 3 zone is actually, and they know because they did our comprehensive.
Got it.
We're 96% rural residential, our R1.
Yeah.
And then we have some industrial, so that tells you how much is zone business. Probably
Right.
2%.
2% or under?
Exactly.
Okay.
Good?
Yep.
All right. We will move on to old business. I've got, quotes on the cement for the front. 16 by 35 is $29.40, or a 16 by 25 is $2,100.
Repeat those.
5 inches thick.
Repeat those.
16 by 35, $2,940.
Mm-hmm.
16 by 25 is $2,100. At 5 inches thick with us removing it.
The 16 by 35, you said 3,000 or 2,000?
2,940.
That's not much difference.
Is the 35 foot exactly what we have out there?
Yes.
And then the 25 foot would be back to the edge of that cement?
Cement, yep. That's what how we measured it.
Yeah.
Where the cement of the.
It was either doing it the
parking
whole
lot.
length of it, what it was, or bringing it back, cut off right at the. where
Right at the edge,
cement pad.
square it to
Yes.
what's there.
Yeah. It almost seems like we need to square it, but where would you put the handicap then?
At the same place.
Just leave it where it's
Same
at?
place.
You're allowed to have handicap parking in gravel. That is legal.
Okay.
We went through all that once.
I mean, before you're gonna whack it off and shorten it, we had everything chipped and sealed right up there where there wasn't hardly any loose gravel, but sooner or later, we're gonna either chip and seal that or blacktop it, hopefully down the road here, because
If we have the money to do it, I'd like to see us do the 16 by 25 and square it.
So Brian, that gives me to ask the question, had you seen the newest email out where from the legislation that included,
See the money coming?
yeah, did you see the amount of money supposedly now listed for Osborne Township?
Yeah, $418,000, and you're gonna get it in 2000, the first payment in 2022, the second payment will come 12 months later, estimated in 23. So we wanna get like $205,000-$6,000 each year.
But I couldn't find any requirements on what was allowed.
Well, you're welcome to my world. I just went through their seminar on last week,
Yeah,
and the lady was talking so fast, apologized, she said, shoot your emails to us. They have all kinds of stuff they're talking about, and they said, this is subject to change, and we're gonna be getting more information in the next seminar. So I'm signed up for every seminar because,
So I spoke to a local trustee who will remain nameless from an area that will remain nameless. They're getting $1 million.
yeah,
And I said, what are you spending it on? He said, fire station payroll. Okay. Like he routed around. I'm like, I didn't know you could spend it on that.
It hasn't, let me go grab my sheet.
So that was it. That was an interesting response, I thought.
It
Yeah,
hasn't.
they have not announced what you can
Yeah,
spend
they
it on.
did not announce it. So how would he know that?
And I
Well,
don't,
some of them just do
some
what
of
they
them just did
want.
what they wanted and figured it out in the audit
That's
later.
kind of, that'd be scary.
I would
Yeah,
be scared.
you're not gonna do that.
I actually think I have it up in my notes.
I'm glad you brought that up because
Yeah, the money that goes to Stark County, it's a lot of money in all our area, but it's quite a bit of chunk of change here.
we won't see it till 22 though.
Yeah, it's just for you trustees to start, working on how we want to go about it. One of the things that I was trying to get the question in the seminar that I never got in was, they said that you have to name a project, okay? What happens if you have multiple projects? Because I thought, well, maybe you do fire, we're gonna do some at the township. It's supposed to be, to infrastructure and all these things. Well, I would think that you could take that money and spread it around again and help both the fire department, the road, and do it. Or maybe the first wave you do fire and the next wave you do road, or you know what I mean? There's nothing, you couldn't get that in there. I saw people firing questions in, and then it was like, just forward all your questions later. And at the time, it was like, I have a lot of questions, but they never gave you something to even tell you what it was, other than when the governor, when they passed the bill on Thursday or Friday, they actually passed that bill. He had to sign it as of Friday, Governor DeWine. And they put some last minute stipulation in there about pandemic. You have to use some of this money to deal with pandemic causes, or not causes, but if you have another pandemic, another outbreak. So I'm not sure what that was all about.
Well, there's supposedly, and this is just supposedly announced in the news, this strain from somewhere else, and they were talking about bringing back the enforcement of wearing masks even if you're vaccinated. Had you heard that? So I don't know. I don't know if it's just news
From
people
India,
talking.
Good luck with that.
I was gonna say, I'd be hard pressed to think they're gonna be able to do that again.
Unless they send the money back and say, you don't want to grant it, it'd be super bad.
Some other country, I don't know what it was for sure, because I thought the same thing. I think they would have a hard time.
So we've got time to figure that out, Mr. Lowry.
What are we gonna do about the cement?
Yeah, I would do the cement.
Do we have the money for that?
Do you have documentation?
I'll have your documentation, I can have your documentation tomorrow.
Well, I mean,
I'll have
who's
it
the
right.
vendor? Who we dealing with?
TVC Concrete,
Who is it?
TVC Concrete,
TB.
BC, Bill Van Camp.
And did he give you any projected time, just so is it?
Sooner he knows, the better.
Okay.
Gotcha. So this guy is not the guy building the shuttle shed.
No, he is not.
Okay. Got it.
I mean, I would like to, if we have the name. you
He
can-
did do some work out here though, I think, before.
Are we still
He
leaving
did
the
the back,
step there
the
then?
back behind the trucks where the drains.
Say again,
Is that
Who did
step
that?
gonna stay there?
the drains?
That was,
It'd be exactly the way it is.
If you do the 35.
No, it's the only.
If you do the 35, it's exactly
It's
the way it
gonna
is.
be the same
You do
as it
25,
is. It's either gonna be
10
10 foot longer or shorter.
But the step will still be there.
And so do we qualify as handicap having a step?
We won't
That's
have-
why the parking
There
space is at
won't,
the end.
there will
It's
be
at
no
the-
step.
It's at the end. The parking handicap comes in on the
It'll be
end.
like a ramp.
The whole thing's a ramp.
Yeah.
That's the way it was
Bill
originally.
The
Bueller
handicap parking space, yeah. That's the
Bill
reason it's at the
Bueller
end of that ramp is
from
because there's no
Minerva
steps
did
in.
Okay,
same one that did the cement sidewalks and the ramp to the church down there, Mabel.
okay.
I say we do the 25 feet, that's my vote.
I second that we go with 25 feet, make it look right.
It's a 2100.
At the
Yeah.
2100
That's your
TBC
Um,
concrete's what we're talking about.
Trustee Varian moves to have TBC Concrete re-concrete the apron in front of the township garage, 16 feet by 25 feet at the price of $2,100.
Trustee Griffith seconds.
All those in favor, aye?
All right.
And this is us still.
Us
Removal.
jackhammering.
How much lead time would you like?
The more the better. You
Well, I
you
know.
hear this man's booked up for a
We'll
week
get
or
you a
two.
real
at a
nice
time.
hammer and a pick, Stewie.
You
I'll buy you a
can't have,
hammer.
I mean, we can't go 2 weeks with that. I mean,
A jackhammer
you
out
want
there.
to tell you a day, a week,
Pull with
a
the
week.
back
There isn't much wire there,
It ain't
which
gonna
it
take
shouldn't
much to
be.
get there.
I don't think so. I don't think there is.
It'll break up.
I'll have it out of there. I could have, if there's no wire there, I can have that out of there in a matter of an hour.
Yeah. All right. Well,
If there's no problem with me picking it up and lifting it out of there with the mini. We
Yeah,
just,
give me all the address and, at billing.
I'll get you everything.
Everything I need.
Okay. New business, Hope Committee.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have two things. One's the update on the Route 30 expansion. Those meetings are monthly that I have been attending. And Kirk Shearing has kind of been leading that along with Richard Regula. And Kirk Shearing's been able to get a lot done with it. And so he was able to secure some more grant funding to finish the
Property acquisition.
property acquisition, the environmental study, the mine work, and that's at the end of our Osnaburg Street. They're gonna be filling that mine in and those things. We had that meeting and told them we only wanted it closed temporarily until they had the funding to do the whole thing. But especially with the Stark County representative that was there, I think they're trying to close it permanently. We don't want it closed permanently, so we're gonna have to bring that issue back up with them again. That said, Kirk said that he also did get a personal invitation to bring the chairman of that group down with him and sit down for lunch with Governor DeWine, because I believe the state has some excess transportation funding available.
Oh.
So we're gonna wait to see what happens with that. And then we have a couple track grants. They call them something else. They keep changing the name of the track grants. There's a couple of those pending.
What road did you say they wanted to close permanently?
They're gonna close Burger permanently.
Burger permanently. Okay.
Yeah, Burger, and then the one that the manufactured home lot is on Pekin,
Yeah, Pekin.
that's gonna get closed.
So it'll be 2 calls, 2 dead ends.
Yeah.
And Burger's closed.
Mhm.
So only way we get that side of town will be Wood Street.
boy, people won't like that.
Wow.
When they
Well-
close Pekin,
If that's what they're gonna do, I really think we need to go back and start pressuring the county to take care of that hill, that curve, something.
Oh, yeah, what do we,
We're gonna have
right.
to change it. So that's where that is. The Hope, working on that senior complex. Originally, when construction prices went up, we were 1.9 million greater than the grant that we had received to build it with the increase in construction costs. That has since dropped down to a little less than 900,000.
Wow.
Back down. We have secured more funding to help cover some of those costs from different places. And construction continues to drop. As it drops, then people go start buying a little bit and it'll spike back up and it'll keep dropping, trying to get it back to normal. But with that, we are low enough now and have enough funding that Paul Testa has said we're ready to go ahead and move forward. So we're waiting. We have a problem with the state and the county on the sewer permit. And that is there's 2 lines. And the one line will come off of Orchard Street and pick up a bunch of those condos and then some of the senior housing, and it goes down to the lift station. We already have the easements to get down there. But the second line only comes up and picks up like 2 of these affordable housing units. So that's like 16 units. And there's nothing else on there. Because of that, the state is saying it's a private line, not a public line.
It's not big enough.
I don't know.
Jeez.
It just doesn't make sense. But the county hasn't done this before. It's just been this big mess between those entities of legal terminology and who's taking ownership. The county does not want ownership of that line for whatever reason, I don't know. But the state's saying they have to take ownership and they're fighting. But the last I heard that there is a line up in Jackson somewhere that is similar, and the county did not take ownership. The business or whatever, with this, it would be the condo association, the affordable housing takes ownership of it, which they don't have a problem doing it. It's just the state and the county haven't been able to agree.
Agree on it.
So as soon as they work out who's going to be the heavier weight and win the battle, then that final permit will be there. So you should see ground starting to move pretty quick here.
That's good news.
Behind schedule though,
Yeah.
but at least it should start here real quick.
Rarely ahead of schedule
Yeah.
when you build.
So we were happy with both. And no, there is no sign-up list yet for people to get on. That's all I get is those calls all day long. To get on the list. There is no list yet.
Sounds like there's need then.
Yeah, we will put a public meeting out before, so everyone will have a chance to come to the Fultz and get all the info in.
Good.
Trustees, I did find my spreadsheet on the amounts. It's $418,375 is what our township will receive. Keep in mind, this is on a subject to the 75% budget test, which means that our budget has to meet that, which it should. Then that comes in two payments of $209,000, $187. Just for informational purposes, the village of East Canton gets $165,087. They get two payments of $82,543 when theirs comes in based on that. The highest township is $4,196,000 is Jackson Township. And the next one is Plain Township with $3,598,000. Then it looks like Perry Township at $2.9 million. Lake Township at $2.8 million, and Canton Township at $1.3 million. So there, and all the other townships around us, whether it's, Sandy Township, they get $212,000. Paris Township looks like $392,000. So this is all going around us. There's a lot of money going on.
Yeah, right.
Now, as fiscal officer, I've already renewed we had to have our cage code, and our OBM site. I had to have that all re-registered, and I did that actually weeks ago. So, it's just a matter of going in and actually registering. Now, once I get that additional information, then we'll be signed up. We're supposed to do official resolutions when that comes in, you trustees, to give me permission to get everything rolling. So, as soon as I get it, I'm gonna get it to you.
Sounds good.
That's all I got.
Trustee Marion moves to adjourn meeting. Okay, Bills.
Trustee Griffith seconds.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
55.
It's good to
Love to get everything shut down.
Yeah, it's
It'd be exciting to start seeing earth moving and buildings going up. You guys have worked a long time on this.
Tanner Real Estate.